Hi everyone. So there's more hawkishness towards Russia from the UK government in the last 24 hours. This time from Jeremy from the Foreign Secretary. He wants further sanctions on Russia. This is from the BBC. Jeremy Hunt wants malign Russia to face tougher sanctions. Europe should impose further sanctions on Russia in response to its malign behaviour around the world, Jeremy Hunt has said on his first visit to the US as Foreign Secretary. Malign behaviour around the world. Who's going to sanction us for, killing those, for helping to kill those kids in Yemen? Who's going to sanction us for being part of a genocide which has displaced millions of people and infected over 1 million of people, including over 600,000 children with cholera in Yemen? Where's our sanctions? Article continues. He called the EU to replicate Washington's comprehensive response to the Salisbury nerve agent attack. The US is set to ban Russian exports of security-sensitive goods following the poisoning of Sergei and Yulia Skripal, parentheses, of which there is no evidence that Russia did it. Why would Russia do it? They've got no reason to. Missed that part out, the BBC have, though, strangely. Europe must engage with Russia, but be blunt about its actions, he said. No, what do you mean engaging with Russia? Sanctions are just going to hurt the Russian people. That's it. They're just going to hurt the Russian people. They're going to constrict their economy. They're going to make their currency fall. It's going to hurt the Russian people. It's not going to hurt Putin. It's not going to hurt the oligarchs. It's going to hurt the people. Jeremy, the Foreign Secretary, doesn't seem to understand that. Labour warned against new sanctions which it would, quote, further ratchet up international tensions. Okay, Labour have done something sensible there. And Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has accused the UK of arrogance in trying to dictate the EU's policy towards Russia when it was on the verge of leaving the organisation. Yeah, that's a good point. The Skripals were poisoned in Salisbury, Wiltshire in March. The British government has accused Russia of being behind the attack without evidence, but Moscow denies involvement. In June, 2 people nearby Amesbury fell ill after being exposed to the same nerve agent, Novichok. One of them, Dawn Sturgis, 44, later died. In a speech in Washington, Mr. Hunt said Moscow must be aware that there is a serious price to be paid for repeated violations of the established rules of international conduct. Okay, he cited foreign attempts to manipulate the elections as one of reasons behind the decline in confidence in Western democratic systems. Again, no evidence whatsoever. Just spies doing normal spy stuff by the look of it. But he also said governments in Europe must do more to get their houses in order by addressing the causes of economic and social resentment associated with the growth of populism, such as the squeeze on living standards and concerns over immigration. Blah, 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 blah. Word salad doesn't really mean anything. Despite Mr. Hunt's comments, BBC diplomatic correspondent James Robbins said there was no appetite among EU member states for further economic sanctions against Moscow, with some countries suspicious of action taken so far. I wonder why they're suspicious of action taken so far. Is this because there's no evidence of Russia being behind this poisoning in Salisbury? There's no evidence whatsoever. Is it because there would be no reason for them to do that we can see? Is it because there would be, far many other actors and people that you would point the finger at before you actually came to Russia in that poisoning? I've covered this extensively. Check out my video. Sergei Skripal MI65s and the dodgy dossier. Done a video on that. During the 3-day trip to the US, Mr. Hunt, who succeeded Boris Johnson in July, Boris Johnson, then Jeremy. What a great. You couldn't pick 2 worse people to actually be the face of the UK, in my opinion. Maybe Jimmy Savile. He will meet his counterpart, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, as well as addressing the United Nations Security Council about the international fight against Islamic State. So that's what he's going to do while he's over there. And the end of the article says this: the visit comes as the US is set to ratchet up the pressure on Moscow after the poisoning of former Russian agent Mr. Skripal and his daughter in Russia City by March. And there's a picture of Julia Skripal there. Doesn't she look well after being Novichoked? Skin looks great. The US State Department is expected to confirm its intention to proceed with a ban on defence exports and certain government financial assistance in responding to the attack, which is blamed in Moscow. I'll just read the last bit. US officials are also expected to warn that further sanctions, including wider curbs on exports and US bank credit to the Russian government, could be imposed after 3 months without assurances that Russia is no longer using chemical and biological weapons and is complying with inspection and verification procedures. Okay, so this is Jeremy Hunt. I actually said his name there without swearing, which is a first for me. Trying to strong arm the EU into forcing sanctions on Russia is what it is. He's trying to strong arm the EU into doing the bidding for him. Let's show the interview, the clip of the interview. This is only 28 seconds long. Just listen to what he says.
America has said that within 90 days they will implement sanctions, and we have to recognise that is taking things further, and we have to, as Europeans, make sure that we're matching that, because this happened on European soil. So we're not saying we're going to do exactly the same thing, but we have to make sure that our reaction is to stand shoulder to shoulder with America.
So there you go. We've got to stand shoulder to shoulder with America. If America do something, we automatically just have to do it straight away. Hey, we are the US's lapdogs at the end of the day, aren't we? And when I say that, we are the lapdogs. Remember, stop funding to the White Helmets, UK follow suit. Stop funding to the opposition in Yemen. You watch. Within the next few days, the UK will follow suit. And it's the same with here. US put sanctions on. Hey, we want to follow suit. Although we can't, because it's got to be the EU that's going to do it. So now we're trying to strong arm the EU into do it. That's going to bode well for negotiations, isn't it? This is pathetic. It's pathetic. I have spoken to so many people about this Skripal story, and nobody believes it. Nobody I've spoken to believes it was Russia. Not a single person. I've got to have spoken to 150 people in real life now about it. Everybody I meet has asked. I ask about it, and they all say that's not Russia. They all say it. So they're lying here. The public are just not buying it whatsoever. Obviously, the media are not reporting on that, though, are they? I'll keep you informed. It wouldn't be surprised me if he does force the EU into putting further sanctions on Russia, but I certainly hope so. I certainly hope that is not the case, rather. I certainly hope that they will stand up and actually just say, no, there's no evidence here. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do your bidding for you. I'm not 100% sure that is going to be the case there. This Russia, anti-Russia rhetoric around the world at the moment is getting out of hand, and it's frigging dangerous. And Jeremy Hunt there, God, look at his face, isn't it so punchable? Not happy with, ruining the NHS. He now wants to ruin our name even further around the world. But this hawkishness has just got to stop. It's got to stop. We need dialogue with Russia rather than anything else, which is going to be the focus of my next video, because somebody has come out and said that they want dialogue with Russia, and obviously he's been attacked for it. I'll give you one guess as to who that is in the UK. This is just nonsense. I've covered this Novichok story from the start. Nobody believes it to be true, and there's certainly no reason why we should inflict even more pain on the Russian people by inflicting more sanctions. Sanctions are an act of war. This hawkishness has got to stop. If you enjoyed this video, please click the bell down there and subscribe so you get a notification of next time I drop a video. Also, I can't do this without your help, so if you can afford it and you enjoy my videos, please support the channel by subscribing to my Patreon. Link is down there. You can do it for as little as $1 a month, and it really does help. If you can't afford it, that's fine. Please share my work and talk to other people about the issues that I bring up. Thanks very much for your support. Until next time, peace and take care.